to what the force commander had said. What the minister indicated is that there had been exchange of fire from between DRC and Rwanda. That exchange of fire was said to have been initiated by the forces that had been in the base, that is at Goma Airport, the FRDC elements. These are not the elements that were deployed outside the base. They were deployed just in the base, but they had never utilized that. And when they utilized that multiple rocket launcher towards Rwanda, the Rwandese responded. And Minister is right, because the first report that I've given to the Minister is that we're under fire. We're being fired at, because that is when the shells were landing on my base. And then the first thing that the commander said is, say, contact. I said, what is happening? He said, we're getting fired from Rwanda. Later on, after a few minutes, is then that the minister had reported that we then realized that this is just an exchange of fire between the two. It is not purely that we are being targeted by Rwanda at that particular moment. So I just wanted to also spell out that when that was picked up, communication is something that is very, very important in war fighting. Then there was communication that ended up now with those who are firing on the other side to say, hey, you're firing at us. What is wrong? Then we were told, no, we are not firing at you. And then the commander had decided to say, for them to be able to see the parameters of our bases, that this is not FRDC. Then the commander, he could have used pink, he could have used purple, he could have used any color, but with the mist and the nature of what is happening, maybe red could have been far better for that case. But in the fog of war, anything that is in your immediate vicinity that will help to meet the objective. The objective was met by the commander taking that flag. All throughout the history of warfare, white flag had been associated with surrender. But in this case, the explanation of the commander had been satisfactory. And I said, what happened thereafter? He said the fire had ceased to fall onto the positions of my troops. Now, I said, if that is the case, it means you have achieved the objective, even if...
They cannot have FDLR in Congo being armed, being supported by government of DRC, supported by mercenaries, supported by an army from Burundi, then business continues as usual.
The M23, when they took Goma and in their recent fighting, have had very sophisticated equipment that, as a militia group, they possibly can't have access to. Did that come from Rwanda?
Some of it, a lot of it actually came from FARDC, from the Congolese armed forces. Most of it, they would attack M23. M23 would beat them, pursue them, and capture a lot of equipment.
So Rwanda is not directly arming or supporting M23?
I think you seem to be interested in me admitting to you that Rwanda is anything. I mean,
I'm just making sure we have this on the record, Mr. President.
But we may go on until tomorrow. So you're asking me, I'm giving you the answer, and it is not going to change by just insisting.
Have you spoken to President Tshisekedi recently about this?
No, we haven't been speaking for quite some time.
He did not attend the most recent East African Community Leaders Summit. So does that make it harder to agree on something if you won't see eye to eye?
Well, again, that is the whole thing. When you have a problem, you must look for the cause. So the man has the problem, and he doesn't even appear for discussion to find a solution.
What the Congolese are doing, Mr. President, is making a strong case internationally. They have said that...
I'm not sure about that.
They've written to European football teams sponsored by Rwanda, Arsenal, PSG, and Bayern Munich, and told them to end the sponsorship because of the blood-stained money from Rwanda.
The efforts they are using to go and appeal to Arsenal, to whichever group we are working with, and so on and so forth, is a wasted effort. I think they should direct the effort towards managing their own problems, their own politics properly.
The Southern African Development Community forces in Eastern DRC are supposed to help the Congolese army bring peace to the region. You don't consider them to be a peacekeeping force?
Who?
SADC.
Well, I don't think they consider themselves a peacekeeping force either.
What do you mean?
Because what have they done to bring peace?